So I've been getting way too deep into the whole robot vacuum world over the last 12 months, buying and testing various models. And as we've just adopted a new kitten, in addition to my existing beast, this means all the associated fur and mess has now increased. This is the new kitten, by the way. He's just so small. You'll also be seeing more of him on the channel, so stay tuned. So I decided to double down on my robot vacuum adventure, much to the distaste of my fiance. Now, this was pretty good timing because earlier this year I attended CES 2025 and got to see the latest robot vacuum tech that manufacturers are pushing out. And I guess Dreame saw that video because they reached out and asked me to check out their latest X50 Ultra robot vacuum that has a ton of cool new features. So big thanks to Dreame for supporting my channel and sponsoring this video. This is not a review, I don't do sponsored reviews, but I can still make an unbiased unboxing, setup, and first impressions video. So let's just get straight into it. First things first, let's get this bad boy out of the box and set up. Now, the box itself was pretty big, and on the top there's a brief overview of some of the new features, like the ProLeap System and VersaLift navigation, but more on that later. Now, after opening the box, the first item is the huge quick start guide showing you how to set up the base station and obviously download the Dreame app. There's also an accessories box containing a user manual, mop pads, a spare dust bag, some multi-surface floor cleaner, a cleaning brush, and the power cord. And there's also the base station ramp. Now, I took out the base station and put it against the wall. It's a slightly different design to the previous X40 because it has a gold accent cover instead of black. The X50 Ultra vacuum itself is also similar, but the most noticeable physical difference is the VersaLift navigation sensor. Now, I'll go into more detail on it later, but it looks way more premium than the X40 and also has an LED ring around the outside that changes color depending on robot status. Next, I attached the ramp to the base station and peeled off all the protective stickers from the robot sensors and the connection points at the back. Now, this is a step that a lot of people actually miss, which essentially results in a blind robot, which is obviously not ideal. There's also some larger protective stickers just on the top of the robot to protect from scratches during setup. And also the base station, which I removed as well. Next, I installed the mop pads. Now, these are really easy because they attach via magnets. And then I turned the vacuum on by holding down the power button at the top and placed it on the dock to charge. Setting up the actual docking station is really easy. I just opened up the cover, I took out the detergent container, and then filled it up with detergent diluted with water, and then obviously filled the clean water tank. Then the Dreame Home app pretty much just did the rest for me. The robot first does a fast map to map your house, which you can customize after in the app, and then it does its first deep clean. Now, during this process, the X50 Ultra uses what Dreame calls intelligent AI-enhanced mapping to ensure comprehensive and efficient cleaning with 360 degrees precision. It'll also continuously update the map during future cleans. Now, in terms of general, just everyday cleaning ability, the X50 Ultra is pretty much hands-off, and here's a few reasons why. First, the base station not only charges the robot, but automatically empties the dust bin, cleans the mop pad with a floor cleaning solution mixed with 80 degrees Celsius hot water, and you also now don't need to clean the mop board itself either because of Dreame's Ace Clean dry board system that fires 20 high temp spray nozzles into the board to clean all dirt and debris. Now, once cleaning is finished, all the dirty water is just sucked into the dirty water tank that you can just pour down the toilet. Oh, and it also dries the mop pads with hot air to prevent smells and mold. Now, the X50 can also leave the magnetically attached mop pads at the base station if you prefer to not risk getting your carpet wet, which is the choice that I've selected. Otherwise, the pads will just raise up when the robot detects it's on carpet. And you can change this in the app really easily. And when actually cleaning your house, the mop extend and side reach features allow both one of the mop pads and the side brush to reach out and clean narrow edges and corners and even get underneath appliances. Now, quick note on the app, you can customize pretty much everything from cleaning schedules to custom preferences. Dreame also added a new voice assistant feature too, so you can fully automate your cleaning without even touching the app. The X50 Ultra also supports Matter, so you can integrate it with your other smart home devices. Now, for the rest of this video, I really want to spend some time going over the new and more unique features of the X50 Ultra rather than just going over all of the robot vacuum stuff that we already know. Starting with one of the coolest features I've seen in a robot vacuum yet, the ProLeap System. Now, I personally know a lot of people, including my parents, living in a house with large thresholds between rooms. That means either they just don't buy a robot vacuum or they have to have multiple robots in the same house. ProLeap System essentially allows the X50 to climb over obstacles up to 6 centimeters in height. The retractable legs with built-in shock absorption raise the entire robot up and pushes it over the obstacle. There are two methods of climbing, either synchronizing both wheels or hurdling one wheel at a time. Now, I'm lucky enough to live in a single-story house with no big thresholds. So I made my own out of bits of wood, and you can see a mouse here for scale. And yeah, look, it was not a problem. So this is kind of a game changer for those who've maybe been on the fence about getting a robot vacuum because it just couldn't clean half the house. Pretty much the only thing you need to do is just add the threshold in the Dreame app if it's not automatically detected during the fast map process. Also, Dreame massively upgraded the sensor module at the top of the robot. Unlike the X40, the X50's module, which Dreame calls the VersaLift navigation sensor, can lower itself into the chassis so that the X50 can fit underneath furniture, such as low couches or beds. Now, in the lowered position, the robot's combined height is just 89 millimeters. Unfortunately for me, that's still too high for my ultra low couch, so I couldn't really test it out. Now, the sensors in the top module, as well as the other chassis sensors and AI cameras, also did a really good job of navigating. I mean, due to the new kitten, we have a heap of cat toys sprinkled around the house, and it managed to dodge the vast majority of them, as well as anything else like furniture legs. Now, as I was setting up the robot, I did notice the brush system was completely different to my previous X40. Dreame calls this new brush their HyperStream Detangling DuoBrush. It's a dual brush system that helps prevent hair entanglement and needing to constantly detach the brush and manually cut the hair out. It also spins in reverse to detach any hair that is tangled. Now, Dreame says this system manages hair up to 30 centimeters long. Now, I'll take their word for it because as this is just a unboxing and first look video, I've only been using it for about 10 days, but so far so good. Fortunately for me, my fiance doesn't shed as much as the cats. Now, one thing I did notice is the improved suction on carpets. Now, this has been a universal robot vacuum complaint for a while now. Carpet is just a pain in the ass to clean. Dreame knows it, you know it, I know it. In fact, I'm actually in the process of ripping up all of the carpet in our house and replacing it with hard flooring. Now, Dreame says they spent a lot of time improving the suction on the X50. You now get 20,000 pascals via the Vormax suction technology versus 12,000 on the previous X40. Now, I'm nowhere near as good as Vacuum Wars at measuring this difference in real life, but in the last remaining carpeted room in the house, I did notice it managed to pick up a bit more cat fur and litter particles than the X40. So yeah, my initial thoughts on the new Dreame X50 Ultra robot vacuum are overall pretty positive. Again, this is not a review, but I do think it's been updated with a lot of solid features that aren't just gimmicks, but are actually really helpful in day-to-day usage, particularly that Ace Clean dry board system that automatically cleans the dock. I really didn't enjoy doing that on the X40, and one less manual task I have to do is always welcome. And of course, if you do want to learn more about the X50 Ultra, check out the link in the description.